the lack and the limitation that people are experiencing. I know the pain and the suffering that individuals are going through because I spend hours with individuals every week in their pain and their suffering. And I can't be with all of you all the time. My heart wants to be. My heart wants to open up for everybody all the time. And in some way, I hold that in my consciousness, that as the spiritual leader for this center, I open up my heart every minute of every day for this center and what's going on. And I move beyond that. I move out into our community. I move out into the Coachella Valley. I move out into the world. And I know what's going on out there in the world, and I think you know what's going on out there too. You cannot help but hear and see and be an experience of some of the stuff that's going on in the world today. And it's not just today, and it's not just this year, and it's not because of the last election. It's been going on since mankind has been on this world. We have a unique characteristic about being human. We know that we're human. We know this. We know that we have the ability to think. And we know that we have choice every day. And yet some of our choices are not really wise. At least mine, some of mine aren't. But that's the humanness of who I am. But it's not the truth of who I am. I am a unique, individualized expression of spirit. I know this. And I know that this is true for each and every one of you. That's why I tell you so often, I don't have your answer. I don't know what is your truth. I can only speak from my own place, my own experience. And this week, the experience has been tough. We have members of our congregation that are unable to get out of their bed today. We have members of our congregation who have been in the emergency room this week. We have individuals in our congregation that are in the experience of lack and limitation. This is the reality of the world. It happens. And there's no magic wand to change all of that. There's nothing that overnight it's going to become something different. I offer you whatever I have in my experience, that in some way, somehow, you might come to a realization of who you are. You might begin to understand and realize, even if just for a moment, that you are an expression of spirit. What does that mean? I'm an expression of spirit. I'm an expression of God. I'm an expression of eternal life. Whatever name you want to call it, I don't care. Call it something. There is something greater than you. Something that has allowed for this entire universe to come into the physical, material manifestation long before humans did, in a divine order that allows for millions and billions of galaxies to travel out and about this universe in a way that is mind-boggling. And when we look at the enormity of that, and we measure that against some of our daily concerns, how do you make any kind of a comparison with that? I don't know how I just can't imagine it. There is something so great, so magnificent, so wonderful, so powerful that moves through me when I allow it. Because the title of my talk today is Resistance is Futile. But when I allow it, when I'm not in the resistance, my life moves forward and upward in every moment. Does it look pretty? Not all the time. Not when my nose is sniffling and my eyes are watering and my makeup is running. But it moves through me in a way that I know that I know that I know. My life experience has been just as much as anybody else's. I've lost some very dear loved ones long before they should have gone. I've had many friends and family that have transitioned long before they were ready. I grew up in a period at a time that it was during the Vietnam era, and like a fool, I enlisted in the Army. But it turned out to be the greatest experience I ever had. I was blessed in where I went and what I did. But the number of high school individuals that graduated with me that did not return is astounding. And then I grew up and I experienced the pandemic of HIV and AIDS. And the loved ones and the individuals that were taken so quickly. Breaks your heart open. And I stand here nearly 30 years as a survivor of that pandemic. I don't know why, other than my daily spiritual practice keeps me alive, keeps me moving forward. Spirit has something for me to do, and I don't always know what it is. But every morning I get up and I dress, I suit up, and I show up to be the best that I can be. And in my humanness, it doesn't always seem to be enough. My heart doesn't seem to be able to hold all of the people that I want to hold, all of the love that I want to give, all of the healing that I would love to share. Because I cannot do this alone. I walked into this center now 6 years ago. And I, in my mind, made a declaration that I would not do this alone. I had spent 20 years as the executive director for a nonprofit children's treatment center, emotionally disturbed foster care children. And I carried the entire responsibility on my shoulders. And if I had not left when I did, it probably would have killed me. So when I entered here, I made that decision that I would not do that again. I would not stand in a place where I would take on the responsibility for everybody else's life. I am not responsible for your life. I am responsible for mine. There are things that need to be done here. And if I can do it, I will show up and I will do it. And I have some wonderful, magnificent individuals who are supporting me in that. I have these beautiful ministers and practitioners that show